Okay guys, now I'm going to move on to question 6. So we've got to sketch this equation 2y minus 4 is equal to 4x, but using the xy intercept method. So to sketch a graph, normally you just need 2 points and then just connect those points and you've got your linear equation. Now, when it says the xy intercept method, that means that the 2 points need to be the x-intercept and the y-intercept, and then you join them together. So that's what we're going to try and do, and in class we learned that to find the y-intercept, x is equal to 0, okay, here, and also to find the x-intercept, y is equal to 0. So now let's try and find out our y-intercept first. So we know that we need to substitute x into the equation for this one. So we'll do that. So 4 times 0. And we cancel that, so therefore we're left with 2y minus 4 is equal to 0. Now, I'm going to try and make y by itself. To do that, we need to plus 4 on both sides. And this cancels, we're left with 2y is equal to positive 4. And just to make it short, I know that y is equal to 2 because we have to divide on 2 both sides. So I know that my y-intercept is equal to 2, and the coordinate for that is 0, 2. So now we're going to try and solve x-intercept. So this time around we're going to actually substitute y is equal to 0 into the equation, and when we do that, this cancels, we're left with negative 4 is equal to 4x, or 4x is equal to negative 4. Now, I'm going to divide 4 on both sides, therefore x is equal to negative 1, our x-intercept is equal to negative 1, and the coordinates for this is negative 1, 0. So now with these two coordinates, we can actually plot them into the equation. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to start with the y-intercept. The y-intercept was 2, and the x-intercept was negative 1. Okay. And just join the dots. So I'm going to just pinch zoom this out a bit more, and I'll join this with this, and I'll do the same that side, and that's our graph. So let's move on to the next question. It says find the rule of the straight line whose x-intercept is equal to 3 and y-intercept is equal to negative 15. So now, when we're doing this, I'd like to list the pieces of information that we have in this question. So we have our x-intercept, but I also would like for you guys to give the coordinates of the x-intercept and the coordinates of the y-intercept. So in this situation, we are already been given this, which is our y-intercept, which is negative 15. We've been given our x and y because this has an x and y, this has an x and y. But for the sake of this question, we're gonna substitute these x, y values into this linear format. And if we know our x, our y, and we substituted it in, and we know our c, what we're left with is our m. And if we can find our m, then we pretty much found the rule or the equation of this line, the straight line. Now, let's do that. So I'm going to substitute my y, which is 0, and my m, we don't know it, so we'll just leave it as is. We know our x is 3, and our c is negative 15. So now I'm going to simplify this. So we've got 0 is equal to 3m minus 15. Now, to find m, the gradient, and to have it by itself, I'm going to plus 15 on both sides, and therefore we can eliminate that, and we're left with 15 is equal to 3m, or 3m is equal to 15. Now to get m by itself, we divide 3 on both sides, and therefore we're left with m is equal to 5. So I know that this is my gradient. We've already got our y-intercept, our c, which is 15, and therefore we can actually do our rule, which is y is equal to mx plus c. We know our m, we know our c, we know our equation. So it is y is equal to 5x minus 15. So let's move on to the next question. This pretty much is the same thing. They've given you the gradient. You pick your x and y. This is our x and this is our y. So substitute your x. Substitute your x and your y. And what are you left with? You're left with c. So you should be able to determine or work out c. So now once you've worked out your c and you've got your gradient, you got your equation. So I don't want to waste too much time on that question, so we'll move on to the next question. Now we have this question where we have to make a rule from a scenario, a particular scenario, saying, say as a textbook author has written 25 questions and can write a further 6 questions per hour. So we know we've got a rate. So for every hour, there is a consistent increase. 6 hours, then 6 questions for 1 hour, 12 questions for two hours, and so forth. So I can say that my rate increase or gradual increase, my rate is increasing at what rate? 6 questions per hour. So I'm going to write my m. My m is 6, and to find our y-intercept, x is equal to 0, okay, which will leave you with a constant. So what would the constant term be? So from the very beginning, when we have 0 hours, if we multiply 0 to the, so if I'll write the equation, y is equal to mx plus c. Now, usually to find our y-intercept, x is equal to 0. So if this is 0, this whole thing eliminates. What's the constant term? C. So from 0 hours, we're left with 25 questions from the beginning. So I know that my C is equal to 25, because I know that in 0 hours, from the very beginning, there were 25 questions written. So if I know that my gradient is 6, the increase, the gradual increase, the rates, the increase is 6, and the very beginning there were 25 questions. So if we have y is equal to mx plus c, our rule would be y is equal to 6x plus 25. Now I want to try and change these variables. I'm going to make the x, we're going to make x hour. So we can even change this to h. And our y, I'm going to make it total hours. Oh, no, it's not total hours. Total questions to t. So if I was to rephrase that, I'm going to change it to green. So we have total amount of hours is equal to 6h plus 25. Now we've put together the rule. That was the first half of the question. The second part of the question is to find out how many questions in total have been made in 12 hours. So to do that, I know that my H is 12. So if we can substitute H into this equation, we should be able to find out our T. So let's do that. So we have T is equal to 6H plus 25. And then I'm going to substitute the 12 in there. So T is equal to 6 times 12 hours plus 25. So then I know that my total is equal to 6 times 12 is 72 plus 25. And therefore, my total amount of questions, so total amount of questions is 97. Okay, I'm just going to rub this out and move on to the next question. I think we've got enough time to do one more question. I think we're going to have to make a part 3 on this one. So graphically approximately determine the point of intersection of the straight lines. So pretty much what it wants is, if we've got this equation that's like that, and then there's another equation, okay, we want to know the point of intersection. So let's try and do that. To do that, first we need to actually draw or sketch the graph. So I'm going to try and sketch the graph the quickest way possible. So I'm looking at the first one. I'm going to do the red one. Y is equal to 4x minus 15 in red, and a 2x plus y is equal to 0 in green, and then we'll find the intersection approximately. So we learnt in class to do the gradient intercept method of y is equal to 4x minus 15. First thing we need to do is, for the gradient intercept method, we first start the y-intercept. Second, we apply our rise over our run. And if we know that our m, I still want to stick with red. So if our m is equal to 4, or negative 4? No, 4. So if it's equal to 4, so we know our rise will be 4 and our run will be 1. Okay, so let's just apply that. So we start at 15, negative 15, sorry. Okay, and then, because we know that our y-intercept is negative 15. So, and then we apply our run. So our run will be 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, our rise will be 4, and our run will be 1. And then that's where we end up. So I'm just going to do, pretty much got two points. We started here, we end here, you join the dots. So we're going to actually join the dots, okay. I'm going to do it a little bit longer. So we got that there. And then we need to do our other equation, which is, I'm going to have to stop because I can only post a video in 15 minutes. So I'm going to continue this in part 3. Okay, thank you.